she's got shot in the leg or in the ankle. She said, I've been inside prison, I've been assaulted, my hands have been broken by them. And this is when like, okay, this is like real deep stuff now. So we said, okay, why haven't you had breakfast? Should we get you food? She goes, there's nothing to do with that. I have food. She goes, but my kids haven't eaten for 2 days in Gaza, so how can I have breakfast here? You're Muslim. Okay, not allowed. Go to next gate. Your house is going to be bombed in 5 minutes. Please leave now. Put the phone down. That's it. 11 p.m. There's a noise and we're like, what's this noise? And it's the sirens. After the sirens, you can see the missiles going across.
You see them?
Yeah, you can see them.
From the
We're
rooftop.
on the 4th floor rooftop. They say, look, put your kid on the window seat because the nozzle of the gun is at the height of a kid's head.
How big was the group?
45 people.
All from London?
No. There was a mix of handful of people from London, handful of people from Leicester.
Okay, it's a UK
handful
mixed group.
from Bradford, yeah. There's a UK mixed group, mixed ages.
Yeah.
So when you get to the airport, if you're under 35, 40, they're more likely stop you. So me and my sister got stopped. Yeah.
So you flew straight to Tel Aviv. Some people go to Jordan and then like, I don't know, drive in or something.
Yeah, so Saqib Simply Smashed.
Yeah?
He went
Was
by
he with
Jordan
you?
the day before. No,
Oh,
he
okay,
got sent. He got sent back.
Nah.
Yeah, so he's got a ban because they've dug into him and found out what Simply Smashed does. So obviously me and him are messaging, like, and you can imagine I'm thinking what we're doing.
Oh.
So I unlisted everything, even on the podcast. I removed about 10, 15 podcasts. I've put them on back on now.
Okay.
But my main problem is I'll show you. So if you type in Zaid Patel Palestine on Google, basically the thumbnail of Zaid Patel Palestine was the first one on images, and I couldn't remove it, and I had to deactivate LinkedIn because of that.
Nah.
But even then, like, I messaged my dad because obviously this was 4 a.m. when I messaged my dad. So it was 2 a.m. I think in the UK. I think it's a 2-hour time difference.
2 hour time difference.
So before he wakes up, I thought, let me just message him. I said, look, we received a random SMS.
Bro, you were just going to give him a heart attack.
Yeah, but I had before he sees BBC News first thing in the morning. And
Jerusalem under attack.
Yeah, so I literally just messaged him. I sent him the screenshot, messaged him, said this is what ChatGPT said.
Yeah, oh wow.
And I said, look, we're safe, but
Okay.
but my dad's the type, he knows that if he stresses, then we'll stress. So he's like internally stressed, and then
You won't try it.
the only thing he asked is when they start saying Jerusalem because are the bombs coming to you? I said no, it's still away from us. It's still 30 miles away from us.
30 miles.
Yeah.
Is that how far Tel Aviv was?
Yeah, I checked.
Okay. Because there is no way Iran would bomb a holy site. Islamic holy site.
They wouldn't
There's
touch it.
no way on earth.
They wouldn't touch it. But the thing is because we're there, naturally, like even Farhan, my grandma, my uncle, everyone was like, you just need to get out of there. Because the other thing is we were looking. So the first day on the Friday was 30 miles away. On the Saturday was 25 miles away. Now, if it started coming 10 miles away, what is our route out?
I see.
That was the other thing.
So what's happening now? There's a ceasefire.
Yeah, ceasefire. But Israel is still attacking Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, as they usually do. But I think one of my main takeaways was, you know how we go Umrah? I think that's not a priority for anyone. Our priority should be Aqsa. The reason being is you take 10% of people out of Makkah and Medina and it will still be full. But you take them 10% into Masjid Al-Aqsa, Masjid Al-Aqsa will be full. Right now, we went to Masjid Al-Aqsa as 3 safs. We didn't get to pray Jummah there because it was lockdown when we went.
But that's part of the reason why people don't go. It's because there's no certainty of getting in. There's no certainty of safety. There's no certainty that suddenly there's going to be an attack. There's been attacks in Al-Aqsa, right? That's probably part of the reason why people don't go.
We just have to firm it, man.
I think we just have to be more
as
courageous.
a protection, yeah. I understand where, for example, like you might not want to take your wife and child simply because of that. Like that's understandable.
But me and the boys, we should go.
But it's to get into Palestine, it's better to go with your wife and kid.
Oh, okay. Makes it easy. Okay. Yeah. So you had planned to go like 2-3 months prior, right? As soon as things opened up
I think after Ramadan, maybe
after
May.
Ramadan.
So
Obviously, you had no idea that things will kick off
no.
until it kicked off.
Until it kicked off, I didn't even know what was going on. I wasn't really paying attention to the whole Israel-Iran thing. I was just more thinking about. I just want to visit the Palestinians. I just want to see what's happening there.
First time for you, yeah?
First time for me.
MashaAllah.
So that was my main objective first, if I'm honest with you. Until we had the group call before we left. So I asked my mum, I asked my dad, everyone, my mum and my sister said, you know what, they'll come as well. So 4 of us, including my wife.
There's 4 of you.
Yeah.
You, your wife, your mother, and your sister.
So me and 3 ladies. So you can imagine when everything kicked off.
Yeah.
So my wife's been before.
Okay.
I think she's been just the once, but that was about 10 years ago.
Yeah, things were different back then.
My mum's never been, and it's cobbled, and there's a lot of walking up and down hills.
Yeah.
So she's got a hip problem, so it's not easy for her to walk. And my sister's first time, but she's 24.
What an experience.
It was good, man. It was good. We got to spend 1 extra day near Masjid Al-Aqsa because of the bombings.
Okay. So your trip was supposed to be, what, 10 days, 9 days?
No, it's meant to be 9th to 14th.
Yeah.
Just Palestine. It turned out to be 9 to 19th.
Okay.
Palestine, Jordan,
Okay.
Makkah, Medina.
Okay. So
That's our evacuation route.
The evacuation route, subhanAllah, that's crazy. And you also managed to get an Ummah in there as well.
Yeah, somehow. Because when we got to Jordan, so I was, for about 4 days, I was looking at Jordan airspace because it kept saying open, close, open,
So
close.
this is you trying to come back to the UK from Jerusalem.
Because there was a group of 45, so I helped the tour group leader from Zavel, Numairo, did a brilliant job. I thought, let me help him with information, because you got to remember, he's a tour group leader. He's not a commander-in-chief. He doesn't have a command center full of 10 screens.
Yeah.
So I was just on Twitter and on the
scanning all the info.
Departures, and all you could see in Jordan is flights to Jeddah was going, flights to Dubai was going, flight to Doha was going, London cancelled, Amsterdam cancelled, Turkey was some cancelled, some weren't. So we thought, to get out of Jordan airspace, let's just take the cheapest and closest flight, which turned out Saudi's the nearest country, so it turned out to be Jeddah. So did the whole group go to Jeddah then? No, 13 of us out of 45.
Okay, so it was optional.
Yeah. So most of the group went home via Jeddah. Some of the group, we said, look, if we can, just do an express Umrah. And we did that. So we got to Jeddah Wednesday morning, midnight. And we did Umrah, went to Medina. And after Isha, we went that same Wednesday, we went to the airport to catch a flight back home to London.
Were you worried that you wouldn't be able to come back?
No. I was ready to stay there for a few months if I had to.
Wow.
The only thing is I didn't bring my laptop.
Oh, no laptop. That's a bit hard. But you can do a lot of work on your phone.
Yeah, you can do a lot of work on my phone. But I didn't bring my laptop.
So it wasn't going to be the end of the world being there for a few months if full-on war kicked off.
Yeah, if it kicked off and we're stuck by Masjid Al-Aqsa, what's so deep about that?
Yeah,
it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually not that bad now that you say it like that.
And we have electricity, so it's fine. We had food. The hotel has reserves of food for situations like this. Okay. And although there was a lockdown, supermarkets were open, bread bakeries were open, pharmacies were open. So your essentials were open, but we were just in like a confined area.
Right.
Probably like, I don't know exact size, but probably like maybe double the size of Westfield, 1 floor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it wasn't that big.
So obviously all of the madness that happened when the missiles started coming from Iran to Israel to Tel Aviv, which was only 30 miles from where you were.
Yeah.
Before then, you got some interesting stories, right? Like actually your intention was to meet Palestinians, and you met some incredible people. Incredible people and incredible stories. Incredible meaning that it's hard to believe that that's the reality that they're living with.
It is hard to believe, and you feel helpless as well. Where do you want me to start? I can start at the airport if you want.
Let's start, bro. Let's start. So you flew from London to Tel Aviv.
We flew from London to Tel Aviv.
And you know you were going to get a little bit of trouble there.
So before anyone goes, I would always say, look at your social media. Anything you have of Palestine or criticizing Israel, just delete it. So that's what we had to do. We scrubbed as much as things as possible.
Okay.
The thing is, the day before I had flown, two of my friends got turned back and they went for Jordan. So I was already, that made me a bit more on edge.
Okay.
And they do a lot of good work in the community, but that just kind of made me a bit more on edge. My cousins, he's been banned. I know a couple other people who've been turned back and banned. So
Wow.
that's where the
Banned means you're not welcome back anymore.
I think some have it for 5 years. Some just say banned from entering.
Wow. So there's a
Israel.
risk that you pay for the package and you might not get in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's always worth a try. Like in the grand scheme of things, a package isn't that expensive. It's probably you can get packages between £400 to £600 plus flights. So it's not
Okay. It's
you're not
that
losing,
bad. I thought it'd be a
like,
couple of grand.
yeah,
Maybe.
it's not. Obviously, if you go with a family, it's different.
Okay. Mashallah.
But it's always worth.
So you scrubbed up, cleaned up.
I scrubbed up, cleaned up, but
You
there
had
was
a lot
one
of-
picture.
Okay.
One picture on Google Images, which is the video we have of Palestine, literally a 4-minute video, and it's stuck there. And I'm Googling it, it's still there. I'm Googling it, it's still there. And I delete my
Where
LinkedIn.
was it sitting?
It was LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn.
It was embedded in LinkedIn. And then I had to deactivate my LinkedIn because I only put a handful of posts on Palestine on LinkedIn. But it's still there, man. So I'm thinking, oh my God. So there's a specific ayah from Surah Yasin. I can't remember it off the top of my head for some reason now. But it's basically to cover their eyes. So make them not see what they can see, basically, to create a barrier. So while I got pulled aside, okay, so let me just explain. You're in normal passport control. You go to the booth and they say, why are you here? I'm here to tour Jerusalem. Who are you with? I was with 4 people.
4 ladies.
Yeah, 3 ladies and me.
Sorry, yeah.
So I
3
was
ladies.
with 3 people.
Yeah.
3 ladies and me. Is it your first time? It's my first time, but my wife has been before. Okay, then there's just punching the numbers in.
Were they friendly? Were they hostile? Were they just doing their job?
Not hostile, but we're already on edge. So even if they seem friendly, for us it's like they're just doing their job, but they're a bit extra. There's no smiles, none of that, no customer service. Similar to when you come back to UK, to be honest.
Okay. That's cool.
And then they put 2 passports to the side, and then they read my mum's name, you go through. Read my wife's name, you go through. You two, me and my sister go. So it's like a little seating area.
Okay, yeah.
Probably about 15 seats
Yeah.
in a square. So probably like, if you look at this, that's all it is. It's like someone's front room, basically. You're sitting there, there's a group of us, 13 people. And first thing we did, crack the samosas open.
Where'd you get samosas
No,
from?
we
Someone
prepared,
packed
man. The
them
tour
from-
group. Yeah, we
from-
prepared it. So my wife
That's
made some, my
jokes.
mum made some.
That's your.
Some people bought snacks because we were prepared. We have to wait 6 hours.
Oh, like that. So bring out the picnic.
Yeah, bring out the picnics, and that lightens everyone's mood.
Yeah. That's a nice touch.
Because obviously, like, other people bought stuff as
And it
well.
normalizes you in the eyes of
Yeah.
these other guards and inspect. I don't know.
And bear in mind, there's a
immigration
camera
officers.
just there, yeah. So they're looking at body language.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the people who they thought looked a bit on edge or a bit young or whatever, they brought them in to the seating interrogation. So you're in an interview room like this. They called me to the booth after about 2 hours. This is, yeah. So
After 2 hours of waiting.
yeah, after 2 hours. So they called people one by one, and there's like a big burly army guy with tattoos and everything. There was a lady who came as well, but she knew our tour group leader because he
Okay.
goes often. And there was a couple other guys. One guy is like, his eyes were like facing inwards, but he looked a bit strict. Apparently he was quite tough as well.
Okay.
So he was there. But I said it was one of the other guys that called me to the booth, and basically all they asked me was, "Why are you here?" I'm here as a tour group. Where are you going? Jerusalem. Where else are you going? I said, I don't know. Everything's on the tour group website itinerary. That's what we were told to say.
That's good. That's good.
Who are you with? Mum, wife, sister. Have they been before? My wife has been before. It's my first time. Where have you traveled to? I said, what do you mean? They said, where have you traveled to in the region? So Middle East. So I told them UAE, Oman, Saudi, Egypt, Qatar. They said, why have you been so much? I said, I got married a few years ago. So I've been.
Holidays.
Yeah. What do you do for work? Where's your mum from? Where's your dad from? Oh, your dad's from India. Do you have dual citizenship? what does your sister do? What's your phone number? XYZ, and that's it. It was about 5 minutes. It was just like very straight
To be
answers.
honest, we got the same treatment in America. Remember when we went? Same questions, same. But obviously they did it with a smile on their face and a bit apologetic, like, sorry, you're going to have to go through this. But yeah, it seems pretty standard. You know, they're not looking into you. They even took our devices, by the way. They took our phones and they basically made us sign a disclaimer that they're allowed to check stuff and keep stuff. And
So I was just hoping they wouldn't go through my phone, because as much as you can delete, you can only delete so much.
yeah.
Plus, WhatsApp, I had to leave groups because some people just send stuff. I had to
all
block
the
some
time.
people because people was forward, so I blocked them people.
That's crazy, subhanallah.
Because the last thing you want is looking at your phone. Someone says,
then
"Oh
I was
yeah,
like, free
fundraise for
Palestine.
Gaza." That's all it is. That's all it
Yeah,
takes.
it's a risk. It's a risk.
They did the few people that questioned. They said, "Okay, do you do charity work? Why do you donate to Palestine? What do you think of the current situation? Oh, you don't have social media. Why don't you have social media? Everyone has Instagram." So it's about navigating that. But the main thing is you have to stay diplomatic. So you just say, "Look, I just want peace for everyone. I don't want no one to die," which is true.
Yeah,
Because we don't want anyone. We don't want anyone to die. And you just say, "Look, I'm here with a tour group. I'm going to visit Masjid Al-Aqsa."
the religious side for
And
us.
on the tour group itinerary, it said we're going West Bank, we're going Bethlehem. We said we're just going wherever the tour group takes me. It's my first time. I don't know. I just want to visit. Simple.
Nice.
The main thing is that you don't get flustered,
Yeah.
and you keep it stepping, you keep it moving. Be very straight.
And then after that, so how long was the whole process from when they took you to the little sitting area to you walking out of the airport as a free man?
I think that all in all was about 4 hours altogether.
Wow.
But it didn't feel that long.
Okay.
We didn't have
Was it
no
the
water.
samosas?
Yeah, probably. We didn't have no water, so I had a bit of a headache.
Okay,
Because obviously you
okay.
can't bring water on the flight, and they didn't provide us with water. We didn't have an empty bottle or nothing like that. The good thing is we could pray salah like normal. So like they have the passport machines. Behind that there's a space, so everyone individually could pray salah. You can do.
They don't have a
wudu.
problem with
No,
praying.
they don't have a problem. Which they've said they don't have a problem with what you pray, where you're praying, what you're praying, what you're wearing, stuff like that.
Okay.
Probably because they're also Jewish, have specific things to
Religious,
wear.
yeah.
They pray. So probably because of that, they're probably more worried about uprising and stuff. I don't know exactly their frame of mind, but they weren't hostile for that. I think a few people got hostile questioning. My one was just a bit more straight, like, okay, I need to ask you a few further questions. That's it. So it's not scary. It's not a reason people shouldn't go. And I think, in fact, if you go through that, you've suffered a little bit compared to getting an Umrah visa and going. You suffered a little bit. So because you had a bit of a struggle to enter Palestine, you'll be a bit more grateful and appreciative that, this is where I am. And it's a little bit of the struggle of what they face, because this is what happens to them potentially daily at checkpoints.
As in the local Palestinians. So tell me about the local Palestinians that you met. Who was the first Palestinian who you spent time with and got to learn the story?
The first Palestinians that we necessarily spent time with, but we interacted with, things like money exchange and stuff like that, and they were all welcome. Oh, where you from? Welcome to Palestine. The hotel people at the hotel are welcome. We're so happy that you're here. Let us know if you need anything. You're walking out to the masjid. Oh, you can't find the masjid. It's there. Come, I'll take you. There's a lot of good hospitality. You're walking to the masjid. Oh, where you from? You're new here. Here, take a lemon juice. From a juice shop, take a lemon juice. Free. How much is it? No, sadaqah. This is our sadaqah. One of the shops, Holy Rock Caf, he sells juices, but he gives lemon juice for free as sadaqah for his father.
MashaAllah.
So there's a lot of that kind of hospitality. And then we had the tours, and one of the tours was of Masjid Al-Aqsa. And as we're going through the tour, is from a local Palestinian who's also an archaeologist. So she's very smart. She knows the history and everything. So she was explaining the history and everything. And then she pointed at the windows on the top, so the small like stained glass windows. She goes, "What do you notice?"
Al-Aqsa.
In Al-Aqsa. So some of them are full and some of them are broken. Why are they broken? She goes, in Masjid Al-Aqsa is under constant renovation, because we renovate something and they shoot. We renovate something and they shoot. So now we kind of leave it. There is an office of renovation, but what's the point?
Yeah.
But we do it enough. Like the masjid looks fine. It doesn't look like, but it's only when you look at the small details. So what
can
would
see.
happen is they would come shoot the windows or shoot at the windows. And obviously one of the bullets will hit up. So you can see that some of them are broken. So that was when like the first inclination of, okay, like things are happening. Before it was a very calm, Umar radiallahu anhu, but the Salahuddin Ayyubi, and you're hearing all of that. But when it's modern, this was happening, and it's been like that since the 50s. Then she was just taking us around. She took us to the Dome of the Rock. We got to the door of the Dome of the Rock. She goes, you see these indents? They're bullets. And we're like, okay. She goes, these are bullets from the 80s. And she goes, you see our security guard? What do you notice about him? He's just a normal guy. He goes, yeah, normal guys. But the difference is the IDF have weapons. These guys don't have weapons. So they protect Masjid Al-Aqsa with their bodies. And they protect the worshippers with their bodies. And I think that's whoa. Literally, you've got to come out saying, right, shoot, you're protecting. If you get hit, you get hit. So in 2000, in the Intifada, when Ariel Sharon's army decided that they were going to attack Masjid Al-Aqsa, there was someone who got shot in the head. And then, long story short, there was another person who got shot 12 times. And she was like, but the good news is, look, they're both alive, they're both well, they both have grown up, they both got married, they both have families. In fact, the person who's got 12 bullets, if we see him on the street, we'll stop him and we say, look, show us your scars. So one of the ladies like, why is he going to show us the scars like so randomly? So weird to do. Imagine you get stopped in the streets of London. Yeah, so she goes, but that's my brother.
Her own brother.
Her own brother.
Allah.
And then she said, I've also been shot. I've got shot here. I've got shot.
The archaeologist, tour guide.
Yeah, the female archaeologist. We're not talking about males here. We're talking about females. She's got shot in the leg or in the ankle as well. She said, I've been inside prison. I've been assaulted. My hands have been broken by them. And this is when like, okay, this is like real deep stuff now. And this is just one person telling us a few handfuls, a few stories.
On like the first few days you're there.
This is the first day we're there. First day we're there.
Oh my goodness.
And then it's like, okay, this is like real life now. And they protect Masjid Al-Aqsa like it's their own. And it is their own. I think her husband has been in jail for about 10 years, 15 years or something like that. But this is normal for them. But she goes, look, this is our life. We accept it. And it's said so casually, so normally, but they've become used to it. It's like you're in business. When people say, oh, how do you do business so regularly? But this is you. So you are expected and you learn to carry a certain amount of stress. So they
adapted to that and it's normalized.
To that level of stress that we can die tomorrow. Our family can die tomorrow. Our houses can get taken tomorrow. So we went to a few houses as well. Like one of the houses we went to, it was, we asked, like aside from Togra, like, can we just meet some families and just speak to them? She goes, yeah, no problem. She just knocks on the doors. If it's a lady, she goes, look, put your hijab on. There's a few brothers and sisters here to see you. So we go to see them. So there's one guy we went to see. So he had a disease and he was saying that he's got insurance. Now, she goes, if we don't have insurance, we'll go to jail. If you do have insurance, it's up to them if they want to treat us or not. So he lives in the old city. So in the old city, so if I explain, this is Masjid Al-Aqsa and the old city is around it. There's gates. So he lives within a stone's throw of Masjid Al-Aqsa. So they don't believe he lives in the old city. But they said, if you move out of the old city, we'll treat you. So
just anyhow get them out of the...
But what happens when he leaves?
They'll take over
his house. So you can see anything with the Israeli flag generally means the settlers have taken over. I was actually watching a documentary yesterday, but this is for other areas. So they, in like the West Bank, they control the water supply. So maybe 1 or 2 times a month. So any house which doesn't have any house which has a water tank is a Palestinian house. Any house which doesn't have a water tank, that means they've got mains water supply 24/7.
Wow.
So that's like their reality. So if he moves out of old city, they'll treat him. So he said, no, I'm staying in the old city.
And he's obviously not getting the treatment that he needs for his disease.
No, so he's not getting the treatment. So when I asked 2 things, I said, what do you need from people from the UK? And what do you need? And what's your mentality? So the first answer, what do you need from people from the UK? He said, look, the Muslim countries around us are not helping. So if they're not helping, at least you guys are visiting, but we can't expect you to do much from you're so far.
Mm-hmm.
So we're left by ourselves. He basically said, we're left by ourselves.
Oof.
And when I asked about the mentality, the tour guide said, look, the mentality of the people, in the Quran it says that we are created solely for the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She goes, these people, they feel like they were created solely to protect Masjid Al-Aqsa.
SubhanAllah.
That's it. So
That's their mission.
that's the mission. Sometimes you don't see them in the masjid, but also to put into context, Palestinians have trouble getting into the masjid, even if it's on a doorstep, they get turned away. We got turned away. And if anything kicks off, they're the front line. They're there protecting, straight there. In fact, if it kicks off in the masjid, the Palestinian Christians would protect the masjid as well.
Wow.
And if anything kicks off with the churches, the Palestinian Muslims would protect the churches.
So within the old city, you don't just have Muslims, right? There's the settlers, Jewish settlers. There's some Christians as well. What's the dynamics there? Like, who's the majority, and like, what's the vibes in the old city?
So within the old city, you have a Christian quarter.
Okay, there's different.
You have a Muslim quarter, and you have a Jewish quarter. And within the Jewish quarter, I think there's also a Palestinian Muslims, and also just outside the old city, there's a neighborhood called Mia Sharim, where we didn't go to, but it's full of Orthodox Jews. In fact, it says before you walk in, make sure you're dressed appropriately, XYZ, because and when you go in, there's full of Palestine flags and stuff in the Orthodox Jewish quarter. So it's similar to what we see in Stamford Hill.
Yeah.
The dynamic when you're walking, the Palestinians are very, very warm. There's no interaction with the Jewish people. Like, they don't look at you. It's just like when you're walking in the street of London, put it that way, you don't really look at next man. That's literally how it is.
The own thing.
Yeah. The Palestinian people are very, very warm, very hospitable. You know, when you go to explain the old city, it's like a marketplace.
Yeah.
So there's stalls everywhere, there's houses.
Yeah.
So you know when you go to like Marrakesh or Egypt,
and
the vendors of the stalls are like, come buy from me. They're not like that.
Oh, they're not.
They're not like that.
Although they need it more. They need it more.
Yeah, they're just, Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Palestine. Oh, come have a look. Let me show you. But nothing like, oh, why are you not coming? Come, spend. Nothing like that. Very nice people, very hospitable. So many times we're walking out, welcome to Palestine. Where are you from? UK, welcome to Palestine.
MashaAllah. And I think they're very happy to see Muslims coming, and this is one of the ways we can support and show our solidarity. Go there and spend time with them, listen, subhanallah.
Let me tell you a quick other story.
Keep them coming, bro.
So we went to another house, and there was a lady there. Bear in mind, there was probably about 15 of us who went, and it's a very small house, the size of maybe a double room, and then another maybe double room. It's in like a shared house, and they have a shared bathroom and stuff like that. So the lady is probably about 60 years old. The house is a bit dated. She has a bed there. She has a few seats. So she was insisting on us, just sit down, take a seat. And we were like, we'll stand, we're fine, no problem. She goes, no, you have to take a seat. And then she was explaining to us that she is originally from Jerusalem, and she got married in Gaza.
Okay.
So she's got about 10 kids, 12 kids. But she's been married for quite some time. She's 60 plus. So she would live in Gaza, but then she'd have to come back to Al-Quds, because if she doesn't come back, her house will be taken. But to come back, you need a permit, but you can't get a return permit.
Oh.
So you get a permit, and then you get a permit, and then you get another permit to go back. So she'd go back and forth, and then she comes with her sister. Her sister was also married in Gaza. So she came, and they refused the permit to go back.
Oh.
So now she's been separated, but she thought, okay, no problem, we'll get the permit for the kids to move in. They refused that permit. So now she's been forcefully separated by the permit system, which I think you can call apartheid, right?
It is.
Because you have to cross through the occupied Palestinian territories, or Israel, to get into Gaza. So now she's been separated. So she's like, I haven't had breakfast today. And bear in mind, it was just before Dhuhr Salah. So we said, okay, why haven't you had breakfast? Should we get you food? She goes, there's nothing to do with that. I have food. She goes, but my kids haven't eaten for 2 days in Gaza, so how can I have breakfast here?
Oof.
Now, you're a father. You can imagine.
Yeah, her kids.
Yeah, for one day, you can imagine. Like when your kid's ill, you know how you feel.
And she can't even get to them.
She can't get
Can't
to
help them. She can't feed them.
So I stupidly asked, I said, do you have communication with them like regularly? I'm just thinking, in hindsight,
Simple question.
yeah, but she goes,
I would want to know that.
she goes, I do have communication. She goes, but if I can't feed them, what's the point of me having communication? As a mother, as a nurturer,
Yeah.
and her husband is there as well. But and we see obviously that they get told aid is coming, and
All of these different.
all of a sudden they get attacked, and IDF are firing repeatedly, as
Imagine
Piers
what
Morgan
she's going
said.
through for the last year.
Yeah, I can't remember how long she's been separated for, but it's been a long time. And then her sister walked into the house, and she was saying something to the tour guide in Arabic and didn't really understand. She was saying it quite quickly, but she was like crying, and then the tour guide leader, she started crying. So I was just looking at her thinking, what's happened? Something's happened. Like this is the person who's been shot, and she fights in front of IDF, and she's been in prison, and she's crying. I'm thinking, okay, what's she going through? And she said, after she composed herself, she said, this lady who just walked in, the sister of the other lady, her child has just got injured in Gaza. Like there's been a ground offensive or whatever's happened there, either a bomb or missile, whatever. The child's been injured, but she can't. So you got one sister who can't feed her kids, and obviously you're still worried about the safety, and one sister who can't take care of her kid
Who's been injured
because of a permit situation. And to put into context, it's probably as far as Red Bridge to Tower Hamlets, maybe Red Bridge to Hackney.
So Al-Quds to Gaza.
Yeah,
Is literally what, 5 miles?
I think it's 5 to 10 miles. I don't think it's that far.
Wow.
We'll have to check
It's
it,
not, yeah.
but it takes about an hour and a half to get there because you have to go in, out, checkpoints and everything.
Wow.
I don't think it's that far.
That's how
Worst
bad
comes to worst is from one side of London to the other side of London. So, but that's like the reality of the situation, and this is day one.
And she's basically stuck between family and protecting and safeguarding her property in Al-Quds.
No, she can't leave her property right now because they don't give her the permit to leave.
No, but I'm saying, but she didn't need to be here. She only keeps coming back because she doesn't want to lose it to the settlers. SubhanAllah.
But if she loses it to the settlers, that's one house gone and them closer to Al-Quds, closer to Al-Aqsa.
Yeah, exactly. So she's basically fighting both fights.
But that's the half reality. Not even half. That's like 5% of the reality. We were there for 1 day and we're like. And then what happens in the evening? Yeah, we get fed maqluba, we get fed proper food because of their hospitality. So we get detached from it very quickly. Obviously, that's their hospitality and that's them making us feel welcome. But that's like that's the reality, and that's just what we faced what we saw in Jerusalem. The other thing is we're not 100% going to enter into Masjid Al-Aqsa.
Okay.
So when you go where we were, there's 3 different gates. There's gate 1, gate 2, gate 3. So we walk in towards gate 1, and the soldiers by the gates of the masjid. So the Masjid Al-Aqsa has the compound, yeah?
Yeah.
So by the gate, there's soldiers. It could be 3, 4, 5, 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds. If they don't have guns, we'll have them in a fight. It's like that. They have guns, and obviously we're 3 females. You're not going to do nothing stupid. So they say, why are you here? We're here to visit the masjid. Where are you from? UK. Are you Muslim? Okay. Not allowed. Go to next gate. Tourists not allowed. They just make up rules. So you go to the second gate. Same thing. Go to the third gate. Then, okay, they let you through.
You gotta try, basically. You gotta keep trying.
So one of the fajrs, we went to the second gate's only open during daytime because there's a market gate. So we went to 2 of the gates, not allowed. So we had to go back. So you're walking aimlessly, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. You have to go back. So this is us as British people. Palestinians have it worse.
Much worse, yeah, of course. Much worse.
One of them asked me to recite Surah Fatiha. This was at Asr time.
Why?
They just want to be awkward.
To see if you're really Muslim.
Potentially.
What else could you be?
Potentially, it could be that. I just think they just want to be awkward for the sake of. Sometimes they let you through. You just walk in, Funny story is one of the guys, he goes, look, I've got this dua, pray this dua, and they won't see you. You can walk as if you don't see you. So he's an elder guy, about 55 years old. So it was him and another guy, yeah?
Local.
No.
Listen, someone in your group.
So he went walking like that. He went through. So the guy behind's like, right, I'm going to read the dua, go through. He went in, read the dua, stop, go back. So sometimes you get through, sometimes you don't.
Obviously, you still get the reward of praying there, even if you don't get in. But obviously, it's disappointing that someone else is stopping you from going in.
You still get the reward, but I often think, generally with Islamic things anyway, the reward is a byproduct. The impact is more important. So when you go in, you realize why there are only 3 safs full. So it's a big masjid, maybe 50 safs, and it's got basements and everything, but there's only 3 safs full. So this is why before off camera or on camera, I can't remember now, but I was saying it's more important for us to go Masjid Al-Aqsa at the moment than Makkah Madinah. Makkah Madinah, you take off half the people, it will still be full. But if you take them half the people into Masjid Al-Aqsa, Masjid Al-Aqsa will be full. And when Masjid
What if
Al-Aqsa
they don't let you in though?
But there's a crowd of people.
Yeah, you're not allowed in.
Doesn't matter. There's so many people within the old city. It's impact, isn't it? And if they see
you have to do local economy.
Economy, but if also they see there's 1,000 extra people here, that means the Muslims aren't getting scared. They have to also react in whether positive way or negative way, or they're like, we can't handle this. Yeah. But the more we go, the more, of course, it will help Palestinians. It keeps Masjid Al-Aqsa, which is a fard on us, keeps it full, and they are aware that the Muslim Ummah are not sleeping. Even if it's just visiting. I'm not saying, obviously, not take up arms or nothing like that.
No, just to visit. Yeah. It is the 3rd holiest site for us, so subhanAllah, that's a very profound. That it's more important for us to go to Al-Aqsa rather than Makkah and Medina.
That's my personal opinion.
No.
It's not a fatwa before.
No, but I'm saying that's very interesting, and I can't not agree because there's so much more at stake here, and the impact is far greater. Even if it means, having, being able to spend. Imagine 1,000 people eating 3 times a day with British pounds is going to boost the economy. Is going to help the locals.
It'll help the locals a lot, and there's a lot of poverty there, as we saw. But when you walk in the masjid, you do not feel that these people are poor. Like, they're very proud, educated, speak English very well, and they're very skilled people. A lot of them are probably doctors, engineers. You don't know. One guy, so one of the neighbors of the people we went to, he's a boxer. So his mum's got cancer, his dad's got cancer. I think his younger siblings are ill. So he's a Palestinian boxer. And the theory within the Palestinians is that he's been put in prison. The theory is he's been put in prison because he's a Palestinian boxer. So they can't have a Palestinian boxer going to World Championships, Olympics, and also fighting in the WBA and all of that as Palestinian. So they put him in prison. How long has he been in prison for? 1 year. What did he do? We don't know. When's he going to be released? Well, from the first month, they've said next month. And next month, and next month, and next month hasn't arrived yet. And that's just a few of them. And there's what happens is they just say they threw stones or they threw rocks at the armored IDF guards with assault rifles. What's a stone going to do, man?
Obviously, they're abusing their power there, isn't it? Full fuel. That's basically what it is. SubhanAllah. So, how many days were you in Al-Aqsa? 4 days?
We were there altogether we were there for 6 days. I think we were meant to be there for 4 days.
Okay, yeah, you were supposed to be for 4. Then what happened? Obviously, things kicked off right at the end of your trip, which led to a whole other journey and whole other adventure.
Things kicked off on the Friday morning. So we went Aqsa for 5 days because one day we went to the West Bank.
Okay, what was that like, by the way?
So West Bank, I think that was another eye-opener.
Okay.
Because, we went to Hebron, we went to Bethlehem, and we went to Jericho. We just went to see these places and see how the Palestinians live. So Hebron is like a city center. it's meant to be like the hustle and bustle, but it was completely dead. It was empty. So imagine Westfield just with no shoppers. That's how Hebron was. The reason is there's checkpoints. The Palestinians are controlled of whether they can go in and out. As we were by the checkpoint, we met a Palestinian child, and child, I mean, is about 19 years old. So we said, "Oh, why are you not at school?" He goes, "Oh, my school's on the other side of the checkpoint. The soldier said I can't come in. So today I'm not allowed to go to school." The markets are empty, and there the people are begging you to buy something because they're in dire need, and not just kids but adults as well. So you as a proud man, if you had to beg, mentally how low you would have to go, and how bad your situation has to be to beg. But they don't beg in a way like give me money. They'll have like key rings or bracelets please buy it, but it's at extortionate prices. But we were told before they are going to be extortionate. If you're going to buy something, just buy it at their price. Don't haggle, don't negotiate. They are charging this much because no one goes to the market. That's going to
feed them for 3 days.
Their economy is basically shops, but who goes to the shops? Not many people. Tourists. There was 2 groups there that day, our group and a Turkish group. Whoever has businesses or have done well before, obviously, and they also do a lot of remote working.
Okay.
When they have electricity.
When there's electricity.
The water supply is controlled. The electricity supply is controlled. The education is controlled. It's the reality of the situation. We went through checkpoints quite easily because we were lucky, because we have the British passport, so they let us through. Palestinians to go through, sometimes they'll get questioned. They'll get stopped for 3 hours for no reason. They'll get searched, strip searched.
That's a daily occurrence.
That's a daily occurrence. Like fathers will get strip searched in front of their daughters. They don't care. Like that's the situation. Mothers in front of their sons, they don't care. So that's what they do. When we went to Bethlehem, we went to the Banksy Museum.
Banksy Museum?
Yeah, so Banksy's got a hotel there.
What?
Yeah.
The artist guy? Okay.
British artist
What's
that no one knows. He's pro-Palestinian, he's an activist.
Mashallah,
so he's got a hotel which is called the Walled-Off Hotel.
Mashallah.
So it's a play on words to the Walled-Off.
Okay.
And the reason it's called the Walled-Off is his hotel is literally here and the apartheid wall is there. We'll put the pictures up on the screen.
Yeah.
And it's an 8-meter high wall, and his selling point is the worst view in the world. Because out the windows you see the apartheid wall. And the apartheid wall just means that they can't cross from here to here. They have to go all the way around. And on this side is the Israeli side, which is fun and games. They live like we do in London. And this side is the Palestinian side. It's poverty, it's controlled, it's highly surveilled. A lot of cameras. You see cameras everywhere. You see wires everywhere. So the Palestinian Christians, I think, run that hotel. Or there might be a mix, but the guy I was speaking to was Palestinian Christian. So I asked him, I said, like, what's the like deep rooted issue between the Palestinians and Israelis? He said, the Palestinians, we're taught to love everyone, we're taught to respect everyone, we have no issues. The Israelis, from when they're younger in school, are taught to hate the Palestinians. So when he was saying that, I'm thinking there can never be peace in that kind of region. Because even if, right now I think about 13% of the country is now Palestinian territories. So even if that becomes, Israel takes over that fully, there's always going to be a resistance because you've taken over. The land, I think, is a minimal issue.
Yeah.
You've killed my grandparents, parents, siblings.
That's not
and that resistance is going to come across. So one day what's going to happen, Palestinians will take over 100%. But then there's going to be an Israeli resistance because they're going to say the same thing. So there's no middle ground. Even if there's a 2-state solution, there's not going to be a middle ground.
There still be that animosity because of the history, because of the wiring and the brainwashing, and subhanallah, that's a tough realization of the state of affairs.
Yeah. So in Banksy Museum, you go in and there's like a screening, and the screening shows a humorous.
Do many people go there?
So the hotel's been closed since October 7th.
Oh.
The museum's within the hotel, but the people on the ground said, look, there's a group from London. There's 45 people. Can you open up? So they'd open it like that.
They open it for groups.
Yeah, and the hotel just basically is to pay. It's for the local economy. He's not there to make a profit.
No.
Whoever funds there goes towards the local economy.
Mashallah, that's a wonderful man. Big respect to Banksy.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know about him. So what there's like a screening, and it's done in a humorous way.
Okay.
That in 1948, the Palestinians got kicked out. 1967, the borders were drawn. So that's the end of the issue. Palestine have their stay. Israel have their stay. But then settlements started. Oh, but what's the problem in settlements if it's on the Israeli side? But that's the point. It's not on the Israeli side. Settlements are on the Palestinian side. So it shrinks. So then they showcase that. They showcase some of the brands, so like the Caterpillar diggers, Coke, Starbucks, that kind of thing. So all the BDS side. Then there's a phone, and it says, when the phone rings, please pick it up.
Oh, wow.
So the phone rings, you pick it up, and the phone is from the 80s and 90s, and there's a message: hi, my name is Danny. I'm from the Israeli intelligence service, or I'm from the Israeli military service. Your house is going to be bombed in 5 minutes. Please leave now. Put the phone down. That's it. So that's the phone call Palestinians used to receive in the 80s or 90s.
To make them leave their homes so they can come and take over. Or actually
die.
Get bombed and die.
Now I don't know if there is a 5-minute warning, and I don't know how they get away with it, but that's the phone call. So that's what the Banksy Museum literally explains. And then we see the apartheid wall. Again, there's people, like a handful of people who saw us, they were like proper begging and said, look, we need the money, we have nothing's opened. Then we went to Jericho. Jericho's a bit more chilled. There seems to be a bit more of a bustling marketplace. Jericho's closer to the border of Jordan.
Okay.
So there's a Dead Sea, and then the other side is Jordan. So when they say from the river to the sea, it's that sea. I think anyway. Or from that river. I think there's a river on that side as well. And then Jericho was fine. We ate there. Again, hospitality is really good. Fresh juices everywhere. Then we came back. But that morning we weren't allowed. That was a Thursday. That morning we weren't allowed to pray Fajr. So the last time we prayed Salah in the Masjid was Wednesday Isha.
Yeah.
Thursday we prayed whichever masjids we went to. Friday morning, that's when the kickoff started.
So this is Iran launching missiles into Israel, Tel Aviv, which was basically 30 kilometers from where you were.
No, so this is when. If I set the scene, I'm sleeping. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and my alarm is blaring. Like, I do not have this alarm as a sound. So I thought, it can't be my alarm. It's my wife's alarm. Then I just switched it up from my phone. I was half dazed. My alarm was set for like 3:45 anyway. Switched my alarm off, went back to sleep, and then another blaring sound came about 3:45. I thought, okay, it's my alarm. But then I looked at my phone, and there's a message in Hebrew.
Nah.
So I'm like, with a warning sign, yellow warning sign, exclamation mark. I'm like, what's this? And I'm half asleep. So I sent a message to my cousins who are a bit more politically aware. And I said, do you know anything that's happening? Then I was just like, woken up properly. My wife's like, do you see what's happening? And then on the WhatsApp group we have of the whole tour, it said, please pray your Fajr in the hotel. Avoid going to the Masjid as we are unaware of what the situation holds. I thought, let me just check Twitter or BBC News. So Israel had launched a missile into Iran.
Oh, okay.
And they were expecting retaliation. So
that was the first attack.
That was the first attack.
Okay, wow.
Mad. So that's when we went to the rooftop, prayed at Fajr, and it's like, what's going on? We don't know. Come down for breakfast. We'll see if anything's evolved. So that whole day, everyone was like, okay, we don't know what's happening. The only thing we knew, so bear in mind, it's Friday now. The reason that Friday is very important to me, so there was other dates I was looking to go, 21st to 26th, whatever, but they were all Saturday to Thursday. So I wanted to pray for Friday and Jummah Masjid Al-Aqsa. So in the morning, we were told lockdown, no one's allowed to go Masjid Al-Aqsa, shops are closed, and I thought, okay, that's just it. But I was written to be here, yeah? The grain of rice for me is written in Al-Quds, is written for me in Al-Quds. That's something I was saying to everyone. Wherever your grain of rice is written, you'll eat it. If it's written in Timbuktu, you'll find a way to go Timbuktu, or that will find a way to come here. It's as simple as that, black and white. But we were told lockdown. So we in the old city, there's gates. So one of them, the key ones for us, the closest one was Damascus Gate. They said don't go out of there because if you try to come back in, they can cause problems. And that did happen. Like a couple had to go to hospital. When they came back, the IDF said, no, we need proof of your stay, XYZ. And the internet was a problem. But they managed to, I think they had to wait about 15, 20 minutes and they managed to sort that out. So we were advised don't go out. Supermarkets were open, bakeries were open, pharmacies were open, Masjid closed. A few other shops were open, but they weren't meant to be open. So if the soldiers walk past, they say close it. But they need it. So a coffee shop was open, which was good for me because I needed a coffee. And I bought coffee beans. And at that point, it was just like, okay, we don't know what's going on. Airspace has been closed until Friday, 1 p.m. Our flight out was Saturday, 1 p.m., Saturday afternoon. So at this point,
sticky, bro.
yeah, at this point, we don't know what's going on. And we're getting messages, oh, we're hearing this, XYZ, is everything all right? We're like, yeah, man. Rakib sent me a message. I sent a picture of the rooftop.
Chilling
I said, I'm
on the
chilling,
rooftop.
bro. Farhan
We
was
were
like,
worried for you, bro.
yeah, we were chilling on the rooftop.
Like he's not coming back for a good while, because we don't know what's happening next. It can escalate.
Yeah, it can escalate. But obviously,
and he did.
Yeah,
and then obviously cool down after.
But obviously, like people who are in the UK aren't aware of how it works. We weren't aware of how it works.
Yeah.
So we were thinking if a bomb hits, I wasn't expecting to see it. I wasn't expecting to feel it because we were in a very sacred area.
Yeah.
We knew Iran aren't going to hit. We know Israel.
No chance.
But we didn't know how it works. And then I get a text message, your flight's been cancelled. Okay, cool, no problem. It's been cancelled. The next step is you try to rebook because they give that option. So we got the group together. We thought, okay, as a precautionary measure, let's rebook the flight. So we rebooked the flight for Thursday 19th. So that day was fine. Then about 11 p.m., there was a noise and we're like, what's this noise? And it's the sirens. After the sirens, you can see the missiles going across.
You see them?
Yeah, you can see them.
From the rooftop.
We're on the 4th floor rooftop and you can see like literally missile. It looks like fireworks. You can see the interceptors. So some missiles are just like diluting and some are like going and hitting. So you can see that.
So these were the missiles coming from Iran?
Yeah, coming from Iran.
Man.
And then
you could see all of that from your rooftop?
Yeah, we see everything.
Wow.
Soon after that, we get another message, flight's been cancelled. Okay, so the second flight's now been cancelled and we need to find an alternative way out. So when the missiles are going across, naturally people are a bit more worried because now you can see it. The one thing, Numayr, who's our tour group leader from Zavel, he said, and I've documented all of this on our Instagram page called Traveling Muslims as well. So like literally day to day. And one thing he said, look, you are in the safest place possible in this country. You are by Al-Quds. From the rooftop of the hotel to Al-Quds is literally 300 feet.
Wow.
So if they hit anywhere near us, Al-Quds is damaged because of the debris and the
Iranians would never do that.
Iranians would never do that. Israel would never do that.
No.
Because
actually they might.
No, they wouldn't. Because not right now.
There's their own people in the quarters, right?
Yeah.
There's their own people there.
And you get told to go into bunkers. The Muslims don't have bunkers. The Jewish people do. Or the Israeli people do.
Just such a contrast between.
Yeah. But some people are getting a bit more worried. I think more the elder people. And it's more when family call back home. So
make it worse.
Yeah. It's like, oh, are you okay? Are you going to survive? Are you safe? Do you have food?
It gets them worried and stressed.
Naturally, you'd be worried, isn't it? If your family kept calling you. If you were alone and your little son said, oh, I've seen this, you're going to I have to get back. So I was lucky, and I was also lucky my mum, wife and sister, they were like quite calm. After my mum told me she was a bit scared.
Okay, it's completely normal to be scared for anyone in this situation.
And the reason she was scared is on the Saturday when it happened, we could feel the tremors.
Oh, okay.
So
from the impact of those missiles.
Yes, I was Googling it or I was ChatGPTing it. I don't think it was from the impact of the missiles landing. It's from the interceptors.
Okay.
Because the interceptors were over Jerusalem. So the sound waves causes
the sound waves, yes.
So we couldn't hear it as much, but we could feel the tremors.
Wow.
And there's more getting intercepted than landing.
Yeah. Probably 80%. Probably more.
So we could feel the tremors. I think that's when people are like, okay, is the building secure? But you have to always understand that the Palestinians are used to this, and the hotel has reserves.
They know the drill.
Yeah.
They know the drill.
And there's also a bunker, but obviously this is new to us. So we, instead of going to the bunker, we go to the rooftop. But again, we knew we were safe. If we knew it was 5 miles away, we would also go to the bunker.
Of course. So you, instead of going to the bunker, you went to the rooftop to see what's happening. It goes to feel you definitely felt safe.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, which is obviously the worry that we had. Like, what's going on? Is he going to be stuck there for a while now? Because obviously airspaces are closing, things could escalate and all of that stuff. I think the fear was more being stuck rather than being struck.
Yeah. Because I can't explain how it felt. Because when you're sitting on the rooftop and you can see Masjid Al-Aqsa, we had our group from UK, we had the South African group.
All in the same hotel?
In the same hotel.
The famous Hashimi Hotel.
The two South African groups. One group came directly from Hajj, and they were there. Sadly, they couldn't pray inside Masjid Al-Aqsa because the day they came was lockdown. There was a group from Scotland, and there's a few other random tourists. There's like Chinese tourists. So the Chinese tourists did a good thing.
Chinese tourists in Jerusalem, nice.
And what they did is they went straight to the bunker.
Yeah, they're
smart, but they're smart as well, innit? They were old.
No, obviously.
They were elderly as well.
That must have been very scary for them.
Yeah,
because this is like things kicking off in a completely alien part of the world to them, with so much history of conflict. The respect for them to even come.
Yeah,
many Muslims, many of us don't take the effort to go.
In fact, when you are walking around, you do see quite a few tourists. You can spot the tourists from the locals quite obviously, because you have to carry your passport and visa around everywhere. So a lot of them have their bags and stuff like that. Like I carried my bag everywhere.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of non-Muslim tourists.
So then your flight's cancelled again. So what's happening? What's the plan?
Friday night we called the embassy.
Okay.
Embassy, one person picked up saying, "Oh, the team that's meant to be dealing with it work Monday to Friday 9 to 5." So on Instagram, so on Instagram, my wife put the screenshot because I tried to call, I couldn't get through. Oh, you saw it, and it says, "Sorry, but war doesn't happen between Monday, Friday 9 to 5." So my wife got her sister to call, who was in UK. Said, "Can you call? Because none of us can get through for some reason." And they basically said, "Yeah, just stay put. You can't do nothing." I expected them to say, "Get to Jordan, contact us, we'll get you out." Like but bear in mind at this point, the Jordan airspace was closed. The Tel Aviv Israeli airspace obviously was closed because the missiles were going over over Jordan into Israel, and Jordan were intercepting. So when
Jordan was intercepting as well?
Jordan were intercepting Iranian missiles. So because they were intercepting, they closed their airspace.
Yeah, of course.
So by end of Friday, we realized both our flights are cancelled. Airspaces are closed. Jordan airspace is closed. At this moment in time, it doesn't make sense to go to Jordan. The other routes were go to Egypt. So Egypt is like a 5-hour drive south to the border, and then go to Sharm el-Sheikh and then get a flight out from there.
Yeah.
That was another route, EasyJet. That was a route that we were looking at.
So you were basically trying to figure out what are all the different routes that we can get home.
So we were looking at Twitter, we were looking at Google Maps, and the Zavel Numayr, he was speaking to Palestinians on the ground, saying what's the safest way to get out. Bear in mind, his job was to evacuate 45 people. So it's not as if, okay, grab a taxi, go. He has to get a coach.
Oh,
or 3 minibuses or whatever it is. Because that was his main priority. So then
that
Saturday
must have been a stressful job for him.
He was stressful, but he handled it very well. Like he met with us about 3 times a day. He said, "Look, don't worry.
He's probably done it before. No, probably not. Something like this.
Not something international. When something kicked off internally between Israel and Palestine, I think he has. But I think it's a scuffle for 1 day, 2 days, and then you just go out for Jordan because the airspaces aren't closed.
Yeah. This was very much new territory for him as well.
So then Saturday came, and again we saw the missiles. So the missiles, interestingly, we noticed a pattern. It starts after Maghrib, finishes after Fajr.
Okay, nighttime.
And nighttime.
Maybe it's harder to intercept. at night time.
Harder to intercept. You catch more people in their homes, maybe, I don't know, or maybe because more people will be at home, you don't target civilians. Maybe, I don't know, because all we see is Israel every hour. Israel's hitting Tehran, Israel's hitting civilian sites, Israel's hitting residential
but
buildings.
the Iranians had a specific times now.
But bear in mind, there were Muslims working in Israel who got hit and died as well. So Muslims died.
Muslims living in Tel Aviv.
I'm guessing it was Tel Aviv, yeah. Or Haifa, one of the two. Because Haifa got hit as well.
Haifa's the port.
Haifa's a port.
Yeah.
So Saturday we were monitoring again the whole situation, and again conversations were happening through the ground. So about Maghrib time, so about 9 o'clock, the tour group leader got everyone together. I said, look, pack your stuff, be ready. We might need to go at short notice.
Okay, yeah.
Currently the route out is we are trying to get out via Egypt. So you drive south. And then to Sham. This is currently a route out. Do not book any flights.
Okay.
Let's get to Egypt first, then we'll take things from there.
Yeah.
So this was about 9 o'clock. By 10:11, he had already sorted transport from Egypt border to Sham. We just needed to sort transport from here to there.
Yeah.
1 o'clock, another batch of strikes. You know that near Egypt border, there's another port called Eilat Port.
Yeah.
That was bombed.
No. So it's not that route's not safe anymore then.
That route's not safe anymore.
Okay. Stress.
So what do you do in that situation? But also we got news that Jordan airspace was
open.
So then again we were looking at flights, but again it's the flights that were cancelled. And it was quite interesting because what would happen is Numayur Abdul Hafiz, his second in command, myself, there's another brother called Abdul Jabbar, we'll be sitting in a meeting. My wife would be just taking notes. So because it was moving at such a fast pace, we'll say, okay, this is the plan, this has been bombed, what do we do? So the routes out were, okay, let's just drive to Jordan. From Jordan, we can go to Tabuk in Saudi.
Yeah.
From Tabuk airport, we can take a domestic flight to Medina, Riyadh, Jeddah, and go out.
Yeah.
That was option one. Option two is you go to Jordan, see how things are, and then book a flight from there because we don't know.
Wait it out. Sort of
things can de-escalate. So Sunday morning, about 11 o'clock, we had another meeting. Everyone's bags should be packed. We're going Jordan.
Okay.
Because, the reason we didn't go Jordan also on Saturday is there's Sabbath on Saturday. So the exit of the Israeli border is closed.
Right, because everyone's off work.
Yeah, so that's their religious day. It's closed. So we couldn't go on Saturday anyway. So Sunday we thought, okay, let's just go to Jordan.
And then you did, right?
And then we did.
Everybody flew to Jordan. All 45 of you.
No, we took a road trip.
Oh, sorry. You all traveled to Jordan, the whole entire group.
It was a whole
And
group.
then you had to probably find a hotel somewhere and...
So because he's a travel agent as well, his person in Jordan hooked a hotel for 2 nights.
Yeah.
The reason it's more cost effective as well because you have to pay an entrance fee into Jordan. So if you pay an entrance fee and stay for 1 night, it turns out to be a lot more expensive.
Okay.
So
nice.
we did 2 nights and it gives everyone a chance, settle down, shower.
Yeah. Properly rest, eat.
Rest.
Yeah, mashallah.
So when we got to the border, so it's a 45-minute drive to the border from Masjid Al-Aqsa to Jordan, and then another hour from the border to Amman.
Okay.
So it's not that far.
Okay.
So when we got to the border, before getting seen, we had to wait about 2-3 hours because there was a bunch of coaches.
Everyone's evacuating.
Everyone wants to protect their land by leaving. Put it that way. And then we went for normal security. It was fine. But the funny thing is, the border control, no one gives the passports for it.
This is border control on
Israelis. Yeah,
okay,
he's just through the passport. And everyone's like, just the arrogance. It's a passport, just put it. But the good thing is they don't stamp your passport. They don't stamp it. They give you a Visa card.
Okay.
Then we have to go through the Jordan border, enter in there. And then when we were at the Jordan border, guess what? We had sirens.
In the Jordan side?
In Jordan.
Jordanian side?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But we were just sitting in the coach. So it was like, we're sitting ducks literally.
Yeah.
But again, because if Jordan intercept and it falls, so
You could fall on
you could
you.
get injured. But it was fine. So then we
But
went
that
to.
must have been scary though. Did you read the Shahada and stuff?
You're always reading it, man.
No.
The one thing we did do, as soon as we left the Israeli side on the way to Jordan, the whole culture was like, free Palestine. But you can sense
Finally.
everyone's on ease, because even
Yeah, you're
at the
out of-
border,
yeah.
at the border, you got people, the soldiers coming on the bus with the assault rifles. They say, look, put your kid on the window seat, because the nozzle of the gun is at the height of a kid's head. So it's just not a nice sight. Even when we're at the checkpoints, they come on. They ask us, "Do you have any weapons?" Of course not. No. Why do we have? If you said we
You
had
throw it
weapons,
in and let me leave with weapons, my friend.
but you can see that everyone's a lot more at ease.
Yeah. Okay.
The atmosphere is different. People are a bit more calmer. Obviously, we've just been evacuated from a war zone where we saw the missiles, where we felt the missiles. So now people are like, okay, we're in Jordan. It's 90%, 95% safe. We'll
Yeah.
go to the hotel. We'll check in.
Rest and figure out the rest.
Yeah. So that was Sunday night. Monday, we were looking at flights and stuff, and we were just touring around. So we were looking at exit flights. So again, flights to London weren't the easiest. Some were getting cancelled, some not. The best flight was to Jeddah. It was like about 100, 120 quid before.
This is all additional cost everybody is incurring, right?
Yeah, for now it's additional. We're still trying to claim it back from airline.
Oh, okay.
If you got travel insurance, because of war, they don't cover.
Oh,
But
okay.
airline said they do cover. We've submitted receipts, and now it's at their discretion. According to the EU TIC 261 compensation.
Okay, mashallah.
So when we're looking at flights to Jeddah, obviously the first thing that pops up in your mind is, should we go Umrah?
Umrah.
So it was a one-way flight. So I said to my wife, I said, do you think we should do Umrah and then fly back? She goes, no, I think we should do Umrah, go Madinah, and then fly
Stay
back.
2 weeks and then fly back.
So I'm like, okay. I said, look, let me ask my mum, because if she's up for it, we'll do it.
Yeah, of
Because
course. Obviously, she's been through a lot, and yeah, subhanallah.
so I asked her, and she goes, well, if the option's there, we'll do it.
Mashallah.
No problems.
Mashallah.
So, and at that point, we were like FaceTiming our proof of life to everyone as well. We're safe
Very
in
good,
Jordan.
very
It was funny because my auntie called me. She goes, where are you? I said, I'm in the bunker. They've given us guns.
good. Bro, you can't do that to your
And they've
relatives.
said if any Israeli army come, just shoot them.
You are nuts, bro.
They go, are you serious? I said, no, man. I'm in the hotel lobby in Jordan. We're safe.
There's a pool outside.
Yeah, we're absolutely safe. We did hear sirens a few times, and on top of our hotel, you can see the remnants of missiles. One person said she saw missiles as well going on top of our hotel. I actually got a video of the missiles going off. And the good thing is there's a masjid near our hotel, so we could pray our salah there. And one funny thing is whenever I go Umrah, I always swap my Crocs with someone. For some reason, I don't know why. When Hajj happened,
That's grimy, fam.
it happens, man. So
What color are your Crocs? The black ones?
Yeah, so the black ones.
The
Yeah,
black
but you know, this time I had light grey ones,
Yeah.
and it's got it's got a Z on it. Yeah,
Okay.
but I was talking to someone, and I just picked up next man's Crocs. And
So it's you that does it, yeah?
yeah, this time it was 100% me. And I come back, and either my wife or my sister said to me, "Why do you have green Crocs on?"
Green.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
From light grey to green. But then my wife said, "This is a sign, man, because whenever this happens, we go Saudi anyway." But luckily, I did swap it back beforehand.
Okay, mashallah.
And then we went to that Cave of the Sleepers, we went to Citadel in
In
Oman.
Oman.
Yes, we had like a day. Went to King Hussein Market. The most important thing is I had to get my ihram. So we got the
Yeah.
ihram. We got the slippers for Umrah as well.
Mashallah.
So there was a group of 13 of us, offshoot
All on
of the
the same
45.
problem. Sorry, all on the same plan.
Yeah, all on the same plan.
Jordan to Jeddah, Jeddah to Makkah, Makkah to Medina, and then from Medina?
Home.
From Medina airport. Via Egypt?
Via Riyadh.
Via Riyadh. So, it was
Saudi
a
Airlines,
Saudi.
yeah, which was quite good.
Oh, wow. Subhanallah. That's a gift, bro.
So we were lucky,
That's
and
a
everyone was
gift.
like, oh, this is just like, the way it's worked out.
You went to see one haram, sacred place, and Allah gifted you two more.
But-
Plus a little tour of Amman
Jordan.
as well.
But this is also
Allahu
a reason why that I say for us is more important to go Masjid Al-Aqsa, because I saw it back to back. If I
You
saw
saw
it
the
after I might,
contrast.
yeah.
Yes.
And it was a remnant of Hajj, so people were still there. But as normal, the Mataf is packed, Medina's packed, Rhoda was packed. I didn't get in, but because my app wasn't working.
Yeah.
And you have to have the app, but the woman folk got in. And it was packed. And it's like, but Masjid Al-Aqsa is empty. And that's under attack. We can, and one of the South African ulama, he was there, he goes, keep doing your marches and keep boycotting. One thing's for sure, you have to visit Masjid Al-Aqsa. He lives in Medina, but he's taken a group from South Africa. He goes, you have to visit Masjid Al-Aqsa. Your number one priority, visit Masjid Al-Aqsa.
And
it's like, when you see it, now I'm like, now I understand. And I feel it now. I understand the Palestinian cause, but I guarantee I only know 1%.
Yeah.
And if you haven't visited, before I visited, it was 0.1%.
So what would be your key message to anybody watching this now?
Visit. As soon as the airspace opens, book a flight, visit. But go with a tour group. It's easier to enter. And be intelligent with your social media here as well. If you want to go out the full activist route, then understand you may not be allowed into Masjid Al-Aqsa, but then take your activist route properly and seriously. If you want to be allowed into Masjid Al-Aqsa, then be intelligent on your socials, scrub your socials, and visit as often as you can.
So on top of visiting, what else can we do to help?
Boycott. You see there the direct implication that having Coca-Cola has, having Starbucks, Tesco, there's a lot. Everyone knows, go to the boycott app or boycott the Witness website. Boycotting is a big thing, and it does have an impact. Whatever you say, but it does have an impact. And to circle it straight back to the Muslim pound, instead of just divesting, invest now into Muslim companies. And if that means, the simple example I use, you can boycott Coca-Cola, but instead of having Bar Cola, have Salam Cola, have Gaza Cola.
Yes.
Have one of them too.
Yes.
Exactly.
Muslim pound. It's actually crazy to mention it, that Muslims, let's stop funding the Zionist pound. Just saying that feels wrong, but we are. In many ways we are.
Yeah.
So boycott allows us to stop funding the Zionist pound, and then we need to feed the Muslim pound instead. And
we need to organize and strategically, financially have this sorted out. I'll give you an example. When we were at the airport in Tel Aviv, when we first landed, there was a few people in front of us with a blue cap, and it said Birthright Israel. So it's one of the first things I saw while we were in the passport queues. I thought, when I'm out, I'll check on ChatGPT. And it's basically an education program targeted from America at Jewish people in America at under 18s, saying that this is your birthright, come to visit. And it's just...
And it's probably funded.
Yeah, it's funded.
It's funded. They bring probably like 1,000 students every year. And that's the sort of thing we need to...
Yeah, and it's funded.
SubhanAllah.
So now, let's flip it. Imagine, I'm not saying Birthright Palestine, because we don't have a Birthright Palestine, or Birthright Aqsa, because we don't. But imagine we have an
educational holiday program
to Masjid Al-Aqsa, full of 15, 18-year-olds. And it used to happen before. My uncle was telling me he went in school.
Would they?
I think they would. Why not?
They would.
If they say no, they say no. But you can at least have something. So let's have an educational visit to Masjid Al-Aqsa. You can even have it as a 3-part. So you'll go Mecca, you'll go Medina.
Wow.
But the key problem is funding.
Funding keeps coming back to money.
And there was a comment on the Muslim Pound, one of the shorts, saying, why is it so many Muslim pages are all of a sudden talking about getting rich? This was on the Nizba podcast. So I responded, firstly, Nizba podcast is about financial education, which is lacking in a Muslim community. The second part is, it's not about making Muslims rich, it's about keeping the wealth in our community, because that way our pound just grows and grows, and we strategically say, look, there's this project, educate about Masjid Al-Aqsa, there's this project about educate about the history on Spain, example.
Then we have the resources to focus on things that are important,
and that's just out of UK. Within UK, you
so many. There's no shortage of initiatives and projects that are needed to support
Yeah.
and facilitate the thriving of our ummah.
And we can't rely on talks in a masjid. I saw a video on Twitter about a few young lads in Tower Hamlets inhaling laughing gas or whatever they do with it. You can't have a talk in a masjid, do not take laughing gas. They're not coming to the
They're
masjid.
not coming.
And it goes down to marketing funnels and
Yeah.
duct tape marketing. What's the geezer's name who's got the book? Duct tape marketing and Richard Bronson and someone else.
Russell Brunson.
Russell Brunson is one,
Yeah.
and there's another one. But it's all about marketing secrets.
Yeah.
So you have to market it in such a way that
That it attracts them, and then you're able to educate in the back end.
and if that means community outreach or whatever it is, but it goes down to one thing, funding. I spoke to a masjid recently, they bought a building, they said, we don't know what to do. I gave them 60 ideas. They said, one problem, funding.
How did they buy the building in the first place?
They got funding to buy the building.
But no plan on what to do with
They
it.
have plans, but it's again, now it's about buying from community. It's easy for building because you can see it.
Yeah. And
So it's
that's
easy to get
another massive
funding.
problem.
So
We're short-sighted, but may Allah give us tawfiq, and most importantly, what you're mentioning is directly in line with something that you're working on, which is
Inshallah.
this whole movement of strengthening the Muslim pound. And I am sure there's not a single Muslim who doesn't see the value of this. So anybody watching this, we encourage them, and reminder to ourselves as well, that wherever you can, choose Muslim option. So there could be 3 coffee shops. If you know one is Muslim owned, even if it's a little bit further, let's make that effort, and you'll get rewarded.
Or at least an ethical business. If it's not Muslim, at least an ethical business where you know
that's not funding wars and bullets that are killing our own people.
Like right now, you go to a supermarket, Co-op, they've decided to boycott Israel. So you might have to spend a bit
We should
more
be
on Co-op.
flocking to Co-op. They should be feeling like we took a important decision, and the community is behind us.
But there are a lot of problems within our community in terms of people who don't trust the quality and the service. But also, you have to think that them same businesses don't also have the investment for it either, because they don't have enough customers as a Tesco. Or like, how many mass bazaars do you know?
Oh boy.
But imagine all of them collectively got together and said, we'll create a Co-op group and we'll purchase through there. That's buying power.
Yeah, buying power.
So there's so many different things we can do.
It goes back to collaboration, being more strategic and more intentional. And collaboration is a key part of that, which at the moment we're not very good at. But inshallah, with efforts such as this podcast, we can change perspectives, change the way people think, and eventually that will result in tangible change in the Ummah, inshallah. I'll accept it from you, bro. All of the efforts out there. You've already got many gifts from Allah on this trip.
Got to visit 3 haram.
Alhamdulillah. That is like, that's the best gift you could have gotten for you and your family going out of your comfort zone, spending money, time, going through all of that uncertainty, all of that fear, all of that struggle. Yes, there were a few nice juices and nice rooftop.
We got some reef perfumes out of it.
Reef perfumes, yeah. What'd you get me, bro?
I don't know.
I'm wearing number 1 right now. No, number 1, number 11. 11.
Did you find reef 35?
Oh, you didn't tell me.
Umrah. Tamam, bro. Now, it's been incredible. So many incredible stories. Like, alhamdulillah, this is gonna make an incredible listen.
Inshallah.
So may Allah accept it from you, and inshallah, we hope to see you inspire many people to go and visit.
Inshallah. You're next.
Next, yeah, I need to now. Now I'm thinking, right, which month can we fit this in?
Inshallah. The group goes every month, so
Every month.
yeah. Or next 3 months it's up in the air, but every month
Yeah,
they
of
go.
course.
But there's other groups that go regularly.
I think it's really important, man, that we need to go and support. And
In fact, sorry, just before I finish, and it goes back to collaboration. I wasn't meant to go with that group. I reached out to someone else, and my dates didn't fix, as I was mentioning earlier. He said there's another group going, go with them.
oh, mashallah.
So that's collaboration. But again, the deeper purpose is people need to visit, so go with them.
Yeah. So the intention was in the right place.
And while I was there, the other guy was messaging me, saying, "Are you okay? I heard this has happened, X, Y, Z."
Mashallah.
So it's there with the right impact and the right mindset.
Mashallah.
The collaboration will happen.
Subhanallah. Amazing, man.